Hey guys, so I just want to kind of show you what I did in order to recycle my clay. You know, this has been sitting on top of this plate in my table, and you know, I checked it. It's been a couple of days, and there just seemed to be a little bit of extra water sitting on top. So I got just a little styrofoam cup and kind of try to take out as much of that extra water that I saw sitting there, so that it wouldn't get too runny. So the next step I'm gonna do, I'm actually gonna take this, you know, this stuff looks like at the bottom, it's like more solid than at the top. It seems like as the clay, let me see if I can scroll down a little bit. As the clay at the bottom, it's stiffer. And then as it goes up, I guess more of the water was sitting there at the top, so it's a little bit softer here. So what I'm gonna do, I mean, I don't know how else to do this. Maybe you can find another solution. But I'm gonna just get my hand in there and try to mix it so it gets nice and consistent. So let me get it. And then the next step, and I'll go ahead and tell you what I'm gonna do next. I found a piece of wood here at in my classroom that I'm just going to, once it's nice and mixed, you know, and I can feel some globs there at the bottom. Yeah, so I'm just gonna try to break this up so it's nice and consistent. Once I'm done mixing it, then I'll just spread it out on this piece of wood, and I'm gonna put it outside so it dries. And it seems like there's like some chunks, I guess the bigger stuff, you know, once the water got in there, went towards the bottom. So there are chunks, but the chunks are, I mean, they're also, they got the water, it's just not as saturated as the rest of it. All right, so I think I got most of it. So I'm gonna make a nice pile here on my board. And this dust, as you can see, it does get messy. So make sure you have maybe some paper towels ready to go. And all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna try to spread it out evenly on my board. I'm gonna set this outside, and then once it starts drying up, then I'll let it dry on the bottom, because the wood's gonna pull some of that moisture. And then once it starts drying enough to where I can flip it, I will flip it and then let the other side dry. And I'm assuming that when the sun, you know, since it is gonna be outside, the sun's gonna be hitting it, so that's gonna help to dry it. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna try to get this as flat as possible so that the sun dries it evenly, because if there's any peaks and little pieces protruding out, the air and the sun will get to those pieces and get those hard, and it will not dry consistently. So, like I said, you can see, look at this. Big old mess. Make sure you have some paper towels ready. Make sure you have maybe someone to help you open the sink. Remember, you want to take as much of this off, as you can, because you don't want too much of this going down your plumbing, down your pipes, because it'll clog them up. So take as much off, and then once your hands are done, you can go get some warm water. Warm water works the best, and wash it off. So I will give you some updates as this starts drying, but all I'm gonna do is set this outside. Let me go wash my hands. I clean my finger off a little bit so I can stop the video. We'll update it here in a little bit.